UFC Bantamweight prospect, Journey Newson. What's going on, Journey? How's life right now for you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good, man. You competed in early February, not too long after that, the pandemic hit. So take me back to, those early days when the virus was getting serious.
Well, we were right at the start of it when we had the UFC Texas fight, Houston, California, back to Portland, and I've never caught it personally, so I can't say what's here and there about COVID, but things have kind of changed a little drastically for me, and I assume for everybody else as well, compared to training and just everyday life.
Now with the training during that time, that first couple of months, when the gyms were closed and training was limited, what was your workout regimen like?
Yeah, after it's kind of settled down a little bit. I don't have as much training partners as I did, but we're still trying to get 2 days, 2 days in and 3 days in as much as we can.
So have you been training for a fight throughout the whole pandemic? Like you knew like, okay, even though this is going on, like the UFC is gonna have shows, so I'm gonna be ready for any date that they offer.
Yeah, this is basically my job, so I was training day in and day out, regardless of if I was gonna fight or not. They canceled that Portland card. I didn't think I was gonna be on it, but even then, I was still like, oh, we might be on it. It might be a short notice, but they ended up canceling it. And as you can see now, they're bringing in fighters, short notice fights all the time from now on. And yeah, it's just best to stay prepared.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I saw that you had a jaw injury. Could you detail that in the recovery process?
Yeah, I didn't really notice it during the fight. Even after the fight, it didn't really seem as bad. The doctor just kind of popped it right back in. Said I had to take a few weeks off of sparring. Not much is training. I probably took like a week or two off from training and maybe like a month off from sparring. So like it wasn't until like maybe like March or something is when I finally got to finally spar. But it was okay. It was probably like it was less injury than what I've had with the Hamos fight when I had my knee injured.
Wow, man, that's crazy because I think if I had that injury, I'd be like a big old baby with running around.
Yeah, the stitches kind of hurt, but that was basically it.
Mm.
Nothing else besides like me like opening and closing my mouth was kind of hard, but luckily it wasn't really the jaw structure. It was like up here, like in the cheek area. So I don't know. It doesn't really affect my jaw. So we kind of got lucky on that. Lucky it wasn't like a jaw fracture or anything. It had nothing to do with the jaw. So we still got a pretty tight jaw here.
Were you still able to like get workouts in? Like did you focus on something else during that time?
Yeah, I just mostly ran all that time, and
Mm.
if I could swim if it wasn't too cold, but mostly I just ran. Yeah, a lot of running. I'm a long distance runner.
Well, what's the like a normal distance that you would run?
About 5-10 miles, and that's just
Like
waking up. Oh, I
like
feel like
normal?
running today. Yeah, so I can never bust out like less than 5. I always feel like I gotta do more, and I could say I'll do 3, and then time passes. I look at Pandora and try to switch a song. It's 5 miles already. I'm like, okay.
Now, it's been 7 months. You're gonna return. You're facing Randy Costa. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Just like any other fight, man. I'm just gonna get in there and just do what I do best. We've prepped pretty hard for this fight, and I'm just ready to show my skills again.
Does he present anything new for you? This Randy, does he what excites you about this matchup?
I don't think any fight really excites me, especially when it comes to me. Like a fight's a fight. There's nothing that I can see that I haven't seen before out of him. He kind of has a reach advantage, but so did Domingo. Like I'm starting to feel like I'm probably just going to give up reach for most of these fights, and that's perfectly fine with me. I have a long reach on guys with my teammates, so I'm kind of used to having that disadvantage already. I've had a few boxing matches as well, and even then, like I think that my last boxing match before I hit the UFC, like that guy had the same reach advantage as Domingo, which was like 8. So I mean, it's a disadvantage, but I am used to it.
All right. Well, I guess you gotta take the disadvantage and make it into an advantage, right?
Yeah, basically.
Where have you been working to prepare for Costa?
At my gym, Impact Jiu Jitsu in Portland, Oregon.
You haven't been going across the border to into Washington to train or anything like that?
No, not really. I don't know how things are in Washington.
Mhm.
I feel like they're basically following our guidelines, and even so, like the closest gym is, as I feel, is what's that gym called? I already forgot the name, but it's long story short, it's basically just too far. I trust my teammates. My teammates have gotten me this far, so we're just gonna stay there at our gym. It seems like whatever we've been doing has been working, so we're just gonna stick with it.
With your last fight, you know, what I mean, everybody knows the story. You know, it was overturned. Has that affected your use of cannabis for this camp, or does it not really matter since you're fighting in Las Vegas?
Yeah, we kind of steer clear away from it just to make sure that we're clear and we pass with flying colors. It's definitely a little frustrating that I can't, smoke, especially when it's legal here. But I mean, it's cool. Like we can deal with it.
Talking about the mindset entering this fight, is it like you said earlier, it's just another fight for you? Is that what it is for every fight? Does it ever get bigger than, like the last fight?
Yeah. I mean, especially now that we're in the UFC, like all these fights are going to be pretty big. I expect nothing but hard fights from here on out. I'd be surprised if I didn't get a hard fight.
Do you put pressure on yourself since you are in the UFC? And like you just said, the fights are bigger, so the pressure's a little bit higher?
I put pressure on myself with since amateur fights, man. Fighting kind of
Mhm.
sucks, but I mean the stress comes with it, and
Mhm.
I've learned to deal with that stress pretty well. It's got me this far, and um, we just take it fight by fight, man. Honestly.
Take me to the like before the fight. Where does it, the anxiety kind of go away? Does it go away once you step into the cage? Do you feel calmer? Like when, or is it like when Bruce Buffer yells your name? When is the moment?
Yeah, as soon as I step into that octagon or any cage, like that's basically that little switch where I'm pretty comfortable at where I'm at, kind of like I was meant to be there.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of the fighters they're meant to be in that octagon or in that cage. So it makes sense that you guys feel a sense of serenity, even though you're going into combat.
And I mean, this I always say it like this is just how fights are. The build up is it's the same every single time. You're gonna stress about it. You're gonna get angry. You're gonna get frustrated. A lot of emotions are gonna play uh, in the battle up until that point. But then, like, we can make that switch as soon as we enter the cage, and that's me. I mean, everybody's kind of different, but as soon as I hit that cage, like that switches in every single time, which is nice. So I'm just
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
waiting for that moment.
Now, your last fight was a major pay-per-view, Jones versus Reyes, and this time around, you're going to Vegas, but it's the pandemic era fight week. You know what I mean? It's gonna be kind of weird, right?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with everything and how things play out and what's going to be different. But I mean, I'm excited. I love the unknown, so we'll just deal with it and go as far as we can with it and just take it day by day.
All right. Now, are you a type of fighter that pays attention to your division and watches all the fighters and watches all the fights, or do you not really pay attention and you're kind of like the Derek Lewis approach?
Yeah, it's always like a love hate thing. I'm not. I watch some guys and I basically just watch fights. Really, I can say like I watch a few bantamweights, but yeah, not really. That's not really my thing of watching who's who. It's just they give me a name and that's my time to fight.
So, like, you're not sitting there Saturday night taking time away. If you have something to do, you're gonna go do it. It's not like you're gonna be watching the fights automatically.
I mean, there's fights like every Saturday, so like basically, yeah, I'm watching fights every Saturday. Just not
Mhm,
paying attention to I gotta watch this guy and this
mhm.
guy's fighting this day. Like I'm not doing all that. That seems just unnecessary stress.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the title fight that's probably gonna happen in the bantamweight division between Hyon and Sterling, man. What do you think about that matchup?
That's a really good matchup. I honestly I didn't even know about Sterling until probably like a few months ago. Jan is really good. The what is it, Tiger Muay Thai? I love that camp. I want to go out there probably like after this fight at some point in time. I love to go out there and train with those guys in Thailand. That'll be awesome. But Sterling has quite a reach on him, so it's awesome to see this fight go down and see how that's going to play out.
Yeah, it is. It's a very interesting matchup. The clash of styles is what makes this fight so spectacular.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good fight.
Yeah, and Tiger Muay Thai, man, I've been out there a few times just to visit and check it out, and man, I think it's the biggest gym in the world.
Oh,
It's
really?
massive. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's like you could walk from one side to the other side, and it'll take you a few minutes.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
so it's
It,
pretty insane.
it doesn't look
And
that
there's always people
big
there.
from the videos. Oh, yeah, I bet there's like tons of people there all the time. It looks like that, and I've never been in Thailand myself, and it would be awesome to go out there probably after this fight, or whenever, COVID
Mhm.
will allow us to go out there. But I mean, it looks like a pretty good environment and a good way to develop your skills in stand up and Muay Thai.
Yeah, I think I just saw that Phuket is opening their borders up in October, so that's good sign for you. You know, you
Oh,
get your
that's pretty
fight
cool.
in and
Okay.
get over there. You know what I mean, and get some
Yeah,
work
that's
in.
cool. Do a lot of sightseeing, do a lot of training. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
I one last thing, man. How do you envision this fight? Do you envision another quick knockout, or do you see Costa not going away that easily?
It can go either way. I wait until I get in there to see what's going on. I I'm more of an information gatherer. I'm not. Every fight's different. I say that all the time. We can prepare, all of us. We can prepare as much as we can, and we can have set game plans to do our jobs. But every fight is different. We're not going to know what's going to happen until we get in there, and that's always my visual on fights, on my fights, and everybody else's fight.
So basically, your approach would be train hard, train for everything, and then when you go in there, see what's there, adapt, and go for the finish.
Yeah, yeah. We're just preparing basically for everything. Cage
Mhm.
work, jujitsu, Muay Thai, clinch work. We're just making sure we hit all these little points, and by the time we get in there, we should be able to adapt and succeed.
Well, September 19th, man, you get your chance to return, man. It's been a while, and I think a lot of people after that last fight, they were like, "What happened to Journey, man? Like he just came in there and just put the hammers on dude, and then just disappeared, right?" I think a lot of people forgot the situation, but when you return, they're gonna remember who you are, and it's gonna be exciting, man. This is a good matchup. Thank you so much, Journey, for the time, and good luck to you and all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Hey guys, Sasha Platnikoff here, letting you know to tune in to SCMP post-fight for all your weekly martial arts news.